Good morning.
Hello.
Microphone's on?
Should be.
Yay.
I turned it on, so that makes sense.
Welcome to Warm and Cozy Quilting.
Yeah.
It's Saturday morning.
Yep.
We're having coffee,
It is.
talking about quilting.
It's true.
We're glad you're here with us. I'm
Thanks.
Danielle,
I'm Jason.
and you are the number one customer.
You? Me? Oh, them.
You.
You.
And behind the camera today, we have
Victoria!
Victoria!
Yay.
She's here hanging out with us
She over there. She doing her thing. She clicking the buttons.
on the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos and threes and whatevers. I don't know what that means at all. I'm not a mathematician. Sorry, I was not as ready as I thought I was. So I'm still clicking and moving things. But anyway, It is that Saturday before the Christmas day. If you celebrate the
baking?
holidays,
Are you baking right now?
I am not. I'm kind of warm, but not baking. Toasty, I would say. Faces.
Is there
both of
a
them.
point where you just reach a certain age and you tell dumb jokes forever and ever?
It's right around 39.
That's when it happens?
You kind of actually start practicing 39 to 40, and then by 41,
And you're like, I wish I could be
all the
punny. I wish I could be punny all the time.
all the time. I can't get away from it. I've tried. It just seems to not work out that well for me. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully you're wrapping up the rest of your gifts.
Right.
Maybe you're running to the store today to get
Gift
maybe you
card.
forgot that
Last
tomorrow
chance.
tomorrow's the
Right.
day for people to start gathering and mingling and
Right.
all the
So
things.
it's a little bit different for us because since this year Christmas Eve is on a Sunday, we're closed. A lot of times
Right.
Christmas Eve we're open for those
Working,
last minute
yeah.
gifts. And then we have parties in the evening. We're actually parties in the afternoon. Like it's earlier and anyway, a little bit different.
That means we
So-
actually might get to be able to be in bed by a normal human hour on Christmas Eve.
Oh, also,
Huh.
oh my gosh, like I'm telling them all this stuff, but all of our presents are wrapped. I did mention that earlier this morning, and both of our moms were like, "You can help me," and I'm like,
No. Mm-mm.
I am
don't.
ahead to that this time.
I don't
That doesn't
wrap for
happen.
hire. I do not. Thanks for asking.
You don't
No,
wiki
no, I'm not. Mm-mm.
We even have the tree up.
The tree has
Tree's
been
up.
up for weeks.
presents under it.
Weird.
Yeah, we are usually a 1 week ahead of Christmas. The tree
Right.
goes up.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man, it's the 20th.
You
we
were
should
like-
probably
We
put
should
that
probably-
up.
Yeah. If we're gonna put presents under it, we better do it. So anyway, hope you're like maybe you've turned us on for some holiday cheer.
Maybe. And maybe
gonna
we'll
sing a
bring
song?
this. Nope.
Okay,
Hard no.
just wondering. Maybe
I sometimes break out in song, but that's not really glorious.
right.
And usually it's made up and awful. So,
So we got good morning, Anne, and hi, Julie.
hello, Julie. Good to see you guys on.
And she said Merry Christmas to us and Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well. And again, if you're out there, you can say hello. We are
Yes.
going to say hi.
Yes.
If you don't say hello, hi to you anyway. Hanging
Right.
out in the background, totally cool.
Just so you know, if you're on Facebook, you can watch us on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we are on Facebook. Like
Right.
we do both of those.
Right.
So
And
on
if you're
YouTube,
watching-
it's a lot easier to be able to search for something.
Yeah.
So we do go to both, especially on these Saturdays where we're going to give you like some good information. Maybe you want to look back and go, they said something on that
something
video,
useful, I thought.
and you
What
can
was it?
you can search it there better. So
Also, if you're on either or, on the Facebook, you can hit that share button and give us a like and or a follow. That'd be awesome. And then over on the YouTube side, you can also subscribe over there. We love when people do that. That is also helpful to us. Thank you so much. And also, they'll let you know when new videos come out. And then you're not able to watch us on a Saturday morning
right.
because that can happen.
Mhm.
Whew. Okay. We had some pop in there. Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
here. Pam is finishing up for wrapping.
Oh no, she did.
oh,
on
you
the
finished
20.
on the
Yeah,
20.
good
Nice. High
job.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morning, Christy. Hello.
Morning.
Pam is making her December IMQ.
Yes, you
Good
got a
call.
week. You got a week to do it.
1 week. I have seen some people's finished posted in the collective.
Mhm.
Wow. I do like this quilt.
If you're new to us, the Quilters Collective is our Facebook group
Mhm.
that we wanted to start a group where you could post pictures of your quilts or your projects or you're having trouble with or whatever quilting stuff and be in a community that is helpful and encouraging rather than you post a picture to your Facebook page of a quilt that you took 2 years to make and it has been like very difficult and you finally finished and you're excited about it, and somebody says, cool, make me one. I need it red and black. I need it next week.
Yeah. No.
So that is, because then it's like, how do I
works.
explain to this person that, first of all, that's going to cost them $1,000 and there's no way it's going to be done next week and all of those things, right? So we started this group called the Quilters Collective. I don't know if we link it anymore, but anyway.
It should be in the description up there. Somewhere.
If you want to join, it's great. You get to see what everybody's working on. A lot of times, not a lot. I used to, on Sundays, post like, here's what I'm working on. What are you working on today? You know, and maybe I'll get back to that. Hopefully I can get back to that.
I don't know. We'll find
Sometimes
out.
I'm working on things that are like mystery quilts,
Right,
or
things that you actually aren't supposed to see
surprise
till they're
stuff
done.
that I can't show you. Right. So
Surprise. Anyway, doesn't matter. Still out there. Check that out. Dolores, hello. We love seeing you here even when we're busy. Christmas time, we get it. People are running around like.
Oh my goodness.
I
yes.
hope you all can make a time to come in today, get those last minute gifts you need for your friends. But I also understand this day for people, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the store last night, the grocery store. Boy, that was a decision. Sorry.
It was very easy.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
For us, it wasn't terrible.
It was fine. We stood it. I was like, oh my gosh, this line is wrapped around. And then we got in line and then it moved on through. Like,
Got
no
on top
big
of
deal.
It was great.
So.
Loved it. Good morning, Sandy. Hello.
Good
And Merry
morning, good
Christmas to you. And Cindy, good morning. And Merry Christmas to you as well. All right. So,
Good morning. Merry Christmas.
a couple things to remember. First and foremost, we are closed this coming week for inventory. So Tuesday the 26th through Friday the 29th,
Right.
we are closed. Please do not come into our store because you will not be able to get in. If you come to the door and you see us inside, we will not let you in because we're going to be counting. We love you so much. I love taking, the opportunity to speak with you and let you shop around the store, but I can't let you in on those days. So please don't do that to me.
So I have a cousin who keeps, I need to make it up there. I need to make it up there. And me and mom are going to come and I can't wait and whatever. And I just have this terrible feeling that they're going to come next week. If you are watching.
Dear cousin of Danielle's.
Aaron.
Oh, okay.
We are not open. Okay. Donna. Tell Aaron we're not open. Okay.
Also because inventory, things are in absolute disarray.
Oh my gosh.
disheveled,
Like you do
so
not want to come in because it's a mess and
it's chaos.
and, yeah.
It wouldn't be near as
And
fun.
also I tend to not be in customer service mode. So
I mean, pajamas are the attire of the day,
Right.
so it happens.
right. Don't care what my hair looks like.
Doesn't matter. Right. Good morning, Claudia, and Merry Christmas to you. And hello, April. Good morning. Sue, Merry Christmas from the farm.
Good morning.
Yeah, from the farm. Love it. And Merry Christmas.
She
and
does
hello,
the
Donna.
alpaca mats.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Very cool. Very Merry, warm Christmas to you.
Yes.
All right.
Alpaca mats we love.
So, we're closed Tuesday through Friday this coming week. We are open on the 30th for a couple reasons. First and foremost, in-person International Mystery Quilt.
Right.
This is next Saturday. If you've been going along with us all year, this is the last one of this year's quilts. We're going to show those off in person. So I would love for you people to come in and show them off. I know
Okay.
several of you are done. We open the doors at 9:15 a.m. 9:15. So you can hang out in the parking lot at 9 a.m. That's cool.
Yep.
We open up at 9:15, and then at 9:28, we close and lock the door. You can't come in after that point because I have to get ready for video.
If you are a fire marshal, like I promise they can get out. Okay.
No, yeah,
like,
for real. It's not like barricading the doors and
Right.
things like that. That's no,
Yeah.
we aren't doing that.
No.
But
But you can't get in
I
after
won't let you come
9:28.
hang out after that.
Also, I would like to throw this out there. I hope enough people are watching and listening. I am going to take my mystery quilt, my December mystery quilt, and everyone who comes on the 30th can sign my mystery quilt.
That's right, you said that.
So
That's gonna be cool.
since it's a signature block,
Yeah.
I thought, why not? Let's
Right.
get my friends to sign the dang
Be
quilt.
able to sign the quilt.
Right.
So come
So
in and sign it.
You do not have to have made a quilt.
No.
You do not want to join the program. Totally fine. Don't care. Come in anyway. I've thought about doing some, anyway, I shouldn't tell them what I'm
Don't tell them all the secret fun stuff because it's the last Saturday
Last
of the
Saturday
year.
of
It's
the year.
Fifth Saturday.
Come hang out with
Mystery
us. It's
quilt.
gonna be fun.
Next year's mystery quilts will be launched starting next Saturday as well, so you'll be able to purchase those patterns and be able to start running into January. It's going to be fantastic. Also, if you're a loyalty member, it is a 5th Saturday, meaning you do get 20% off your purchases all day in store.
Exactly.
By the way, if you're here for the show and we wrap up the show around 10:30, we don't open the doors for the rest of the public till 11 o'clock. So
You get to shop early.
I've been asked a few times this week, can I get in early? No, unless
But-
you're hanging out for the Mystery Quilt Show and Tell.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, there are ways around things.
Always.
Make sure you're there.
Right.
Sue has vivid memories of Sear hardware department inventory days. That sounds chaotic.
Yeah, I did work at a company where we had a really good system. The whole thing with small business is we have to make the system.
Right.
And it has been 8 years, and we've learned
better at
every
it.
single time we've learned something new and how to make it easier. So it usually doesn't take us that long, just a couple days, and we're good. So
Right. And then maybe a day off for ourselves. Maybe.
yeah,
We'll
that
see how
would be
that goes.
nice. That would be so nice.
And yay, Jenny Coon. Hello, by the way.
Yay!
Birthday's coming. That's going to be exciting. Okay. Last but not least, loyalty cards for 2024 are available for purchase.
Is she,
Somebody
Jenny?
get
Are you
those?
coming for? Are you going to get to come here for
You
your
could.
birthday?
Good. Happy
Is
birthday.
today your birthday, or are
I
you
don't know.
coming here for your birthday? Jenny, I need more information.
So much energy. So much energy.
I have to tell everyone, I woke up in like a great mood. I think because we're ahead of the game for Christmas,
Yeah.
and usually I am panicked. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
about like, oh, I had my list is a mile long, and anyway, it's a nice calming situation. But also then I decided that we're going to have Dance Party Christmas.
Dance Party Christmas.
And so I'm putting together a playlist for Christmas Day. So that's fun. And so my energy is a little
It's there.
like
it's
this.
there. That's awesome.
I'm happy. It's Christmas. It's merry and bright.
Well, happy birthday, Jenny.
Happy birthday, Jenny!
I don't have.
Oh, she gets to watch us, right?
Right, happy
today.
birthday.
Yeah,
That's all.
awesome.
You better be entertaining. It's her birthday.
I'm trying. I'm trying so hard.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to say thank you to some folks. I put them in the notes up preview in the Facebook post. Thank you for those of you that have gotten us gifts for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. And
We
we do not need anything, and we don't
need
expect
gifts.
ever.
We
to
love
get-
it when
yeah.
we get them because that's awesome. I know you guys love us, but
Yeah.
sometimes we don't expect it. And so I'm going to say thank you to 2.0. Deborah, you know who you are. You do tons of things. Thank you. Chocolate.
Chocolate,
Golly
Christmas,
gracious.
chocolate Christmas trees. And
Right.
they were-
Also, the kitty magnet for Sadie.
Oh, the kitty
Felt Merry
magnet.
Christmas Day,
Yes.
so.
Very, very cool. Very
Mary,
cool of you.
Mary, thank you for the crumble cookies.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
Oh my gosh. And Crumble is a company that makes, I mean, these cookies are,
Like they're giant.
and
And
then
they're so good.
she got us this cookie cutter thing. I
Right.
guess Crumble sells it or gives it to you. I don't know. And you push it in there and it cuts their cookie into 4 pieces, which was smart because you do not need that whole cookie.
Well,
Also, you wanted
you
to
can get
try
one
every
of 4
one of
different
them.
ones. So it's
Wanted
like
to
it's
try
its
every
own.
one of them. Right.
Oh
So,
my God. So thank you to that.
Thank you,
you
Mary.
to Dorothy. She got us some cupcakes.
oh, yes.
Those were delicious. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to go over here and read the comments because I forgot what the other ones were. Oh, overview. Here it is.
So, Cheryl made me a
Cheryl,
mug rug.
Mug rug.
An
Oh,
ugly
that's who
sweater
else.
mug rug.
Mm-hmm.
Cute, right?
We also had Melissa. She brought us
Yes.
some Starbucks cake pops.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't know how, like, I have a doctor's appointment in January, like the second
It's going
week
to be
of,
like, you see a trend here? People love to
I'm
feed
going
us,
to be
apparently.
in
I love
trouble.
it.
I'm going to be in trouble.
Right?
Whatever.
It happens. There was a random sales guy. I don't know who he was, but he dropped off a package of Pepperidge Farms cookies. Thank
And
you.
Those are, did you try one?
I haven't had one yet.
So
I'm
going to call
store-bought,
Kelly
but
out.
That's cool.
Kelly was like, I had to because they're thin. And then she was like, uh-oh. She looked at like how many calories are in it. Like,
Full of
oh,
sugar and
dang it.
calories.
Yeah, those thin ones, just because they're thin don't mean they're,
That
calorie
don't mean
free.
nothing. Yeah, exactly. That's actually really funny. And then also June, who I went to set up a machine for her. She bought herself and joined the Handy Quilter family, a Simply 16.
Yay, June.
Fantastic little machine. She's going to love it. Going to be awesome with it. I surprisingly, as I was leaving, she was like, "Here, this is one for everybody. Handmade ornaments." We brought in the ones that we got.
Like, do you see this?
Absolutely adorable,
So
awesome, and
pretty.
handmade.
And I'm like, there is so much work in this. Do you see how much work is in
they're
this?
all. You need to grab that other one,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Look
This
at
one-
that.
So it kind of is like a little
Christmas
a
tree.
little snowman.
Oh, is it a
See?
snowman or a Christmas
Look.
tree? Oh, that's his nose and then some
Yeah.
buttons.
How cute!
It's super
that one
cute.
is. Oh my
Anyway,
gosh. Anyway, we didn't bring them all in, but
none of this was expected, but also we always like to say thank you appropriately.
yes, thank
because
you, thank you.
You guys are great. We do love you. You are the number one customers. Thank you. Okay. Gonna back up here a little bit. April has a caramel cookie next to her now. You're gonna love it if you haven't tried it yet. Hello, Karen.
They changed the flavors each.
Yeah, there's some variety that happens.
Also,
but
you can get their app and you can find out what flavors they have. They are not close to us, but frequently I just get to look at what they have
right
on the flavors.
I mean, what would you need? Sue, that's a great question. We do have classes. All of our classes are listed on our website, warmandcozyquilting.com/classes. It has a calendar view, so you can kind of look at the classes that are coming up. And as far as hotels nearby, yes, in Columbia we have a Hampton Inn. It is very nice. It's very well maintained.
Whenever
it's
we
like
do
3 minutes from the shop.
Yeah, whenever we do like a handy quilter event, the educators always stay there and they love it. It's wonderful because it is so close by,
right?
And is a good hotel.
Also, Columbia has a ton of things going on with it too. Restaurants, shopping places, like all the things. It's a great little town, and it's like 10 minutes from St. Louis, so totally need to come over and visit there anyway.
Jenny!
Woo! That's exciting.
Your husband is so smart.
Yep, for sure.
So smart.
Love it. All right, so let's see here. Was there any other announcements that we need to make of any importance before we go into the whole washing of quilts? Because again, Christmas is here. People are gifting things. People are either going to get quilts for gifts or people are giving quilts for gifts. And some people that are going to get those don't know what to do with them. Or maybe you have one that you've had for years from grandma and you just don't know what to do with it. How do I clean this? Because it kind of smells like a closet. That happens. That's okay.
Or a cedar chest.
Or a cedar chest, which would probably be a smarter option.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot. Special pricing on handy quilters and genomes.
Always.
If you need,
well, especially right now.
Especially right now because Christmas, if you need one.
And also, prices tend to go up in the new year.
They really love to do that.
People are like, oh, it's the new year. Let's do, now is a good time for whatever, right? So just know. I mean, Handy Quilter usually doesn't. They do it.
They do it weirdly in like third quarter.
Yeah,
like
weird. But so.
Second, third quarter. So. Bouillon Clean Soap from Unicorn. All right, that's a new one to me. I'm not familiar with those guys, but I guess I have to look into that. But we've got some detergent conversations to have. But really, the first thing to ask yourself is, can I even wash and dry my quilt?
That is a good question.
Start there.
Right. So is it an old quilt? Is it a new quilt? Is it and just because it's new to you doesn't mean that it's not old, right? I mean, like maybe you got this as the hand-me-down. I don't want to, that's not what I mean. Someone has given you grandma's quilt.
Kind of an heirloom.
Right,
kind of a
and passed it down to you.
Quilt thing.
And you're like, oh man, how do I handle this?
Right.
And so is a quilt older? Is it newer? What's it made of? Those kind of things are important to know before you go and start washing a quilt.
Yep. And I did put this giant disclaimer at the top of my notes because...
Like with asterisks in large font.
Because I feel this is very important for me to say because here's the deal. If at any point in time we say something, always know your quilt is not made the same way that the person's next to you quilt is made.
Right.
There are always possible differences. So one size does not always fit all. Do your homework. Kind of understand what you're looking at. And always take precautions. Don't just take anything you've grabbed out of the closet, throw in the washing machine, and throw in the dryer. It'll be fine.
Right.
It doesn't always work that way. So even the brand new one you just got, you're going to want to take some precautionary steps with it. Just be aware of that. All right? Okay. So, I know, right?
Morning, Dorothy. So
if we have a quilt, like something behind us, where it's recently made, newer, higher quality fabrics, I would actually say it's probably safe to throw in a washing machine and in a dryer. Obviously, I wouldn't put it on super high
Remember
speed.
that disclaimer. Okay, just we suggest. Did we give the disclaimer?
I did that.
Suggest that you hand wash.
Hand wash is the safest recommendation for all quilts.
Dry it. No wringing.
Don't wring it.
Things like that, right? Yeah.
But yes, but if it's newer machine washing is something that can be done. I do it.
All of our quilts get machine. all of our quilts get machine washed.
Mhm.
There's one quilt that I probably won't machine wash.
Correct.
That's it.
And then my
Out of
quilts,
all of our quilts.
and I say mine, I mean, like, they were gifted to me, they're mine. I am a guy. I don't pay attention to anything. I will throw them in the dryer. I haven't had any problems with that yet, knock
just know
on wood.
that is going to happen, right? Yeah.
But just be aware, that's not every quilt that's out there. So
If you're giving your son, grandson, teenage boy a quilt, first of all, it better be able to be laundered because
it probably won't ever get laundered because they're disgusting.
they're gross.
'Cause they're gross.
We love you, teenage boys, but and 30-year-old boys.
40-year-old
Because-
boys that don't like laundry.
Right. Laundry and boys maybe just are not the best of friends. Okay.
Laundry and girls don't get along either. 'cause
Oh,
I don't
true.
wanna do laundry.
Right.
Victoria
True.
does not like
Victoria hates
laundry.
it. I don't really like laundry either.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do take in consideration before I've ever taken any of my quilts and just throw them in the washer and dryer is the quilting. If it's super far apart, me personally, I'm probably not going to do that. I mean, I'll wash it on a gentle cycle, maybe on a low tumble dry, and then pull it out. It'll be slightly damp and then let it air dry because I don't want that stuff shifting around inside of the large open space for the quilting.
Right. Most battings all battings have a recommendation on quilting space.
Yeah.
So some of them say that you need to quilt every 4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
This is this much, not very much, okay? A lot of them recommend 10 inches, at least
Some can
every
go up
10
to
inches.
10, yep.
So I always put my hand on a quilt. If I'm not touching stitching, that's really far apart. That's probably, I need to be careful when
That's at the
laundering it.
extent of
Yeah.
quilting density.
Yeah, I mean, I like them quilted to death, but we're
She
not talking
does.
about that right
Mhm.
now.
You need to add 5 pounds of weight with thread, otherwise it's
I
not
think
quilted.
that's how it should be. Okay, I want 2 layers of batting. Anyway.
It's like covering up with a large piece of concrete. It should hold you in place.
Yeah. So
I'm trapped. No. No.
anyway, why did I go there?
Sidetrack. I don't know. Oh, because of density of quilting.
Right.
So, yeah.
So density of quilting, because someone may not have quilted as close together as they should have for that batting,
Mhm.
and then the batting can shift. That's why they recommend, there's different recommendations for different kinds of batting, right? So anyway, if it is loosely quilted and you're not sure what batting's in there and what that batting's directions were because you have no idea,
Right.
then you want to definitely take more care when washing.
Right, for sure. And generally, I've had people show me pictures before where the batting has, inside between the stitching has like separated. Now it's bunched up.
We've had
Like, this
people
can
bring
happen.
quilts in and say, "What can I do about this?" And I'm like,
Not much.
not much at this point.
Not much. So be mindful of that. Kind of have an idea of the quilting density before you determine which way you're going to go with washing it. First off, another thing to consider is shrink rate. I am seeing a lot of people say they wash their quilts before they gift them. Good call.
Yeah.
Because then you're kind of going to see what happens before you give it to them, and they surprise themselves with what they do. A lot of people though like polyester batting. One, because it gives it that lofty thing. But poly batting doesn't really shrink that much, if at all.
Right.
Which is kind of nice. However, your cotton battings, your natural fiber ones, will shrink and can shrink up to 3 to 5%. Not giant amounts, but if your
Do you
fabric
have-
is shrinking and your batting is shrinking at the same rate,
Right.
roughly, usually
Yeah,
it turns
it's all
out
good.
okay. You usually don't notice the shrinking, but
It
it's
just
something
crinkles
to
up a
consider.
little bit. Like it has a different look to it than your completely perfectly pressed cotton fabric that you were using while you were working with it. Right now,
Yeah.
it's not all that anymore. So,
Right.
I don't know if you have. I don't think you do.
What's that?
Have bamboo, wool, all that kind of shrink rates on those are
I
going to
don't.
be
I
different
just
based
call
on
it
things. So
natural
yeah.
fibers, and there's
Yeah.
that chance for shrinkage. So if you're dealing with the wool, bamboo, poly, or cotton, which are the 3 primary
Right.
natural fibers we deal with, just know there's a chance for shrinkage. And they do, I believe, have that on the package somewhere that may tell you what that shrink rate is considered to be.
Again, if you are the recipient of a quilt, you do not have the
You don't have
fed
that.
package.
But if
So-
you are that person,
Right.
be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What do we got? Next note.
So you like, what about the difference between hand quilting or machine quilting? Does that make a difference in how we should launder it?
I would absolutely say yes.
Yeah. So first of all, when you are hand quilting, it is one single thread, right? There's no interlock there. When you machine quilt, you have a thread from the top and a thread from the bottom, and they lock together, right? So there is a little bit. There's two threads, double threaded across the whole thing, right?
With machine stitching.
With machine stitching. So if it is a hand quilted quilt, this is one that I would take more care of. I would hand wash.
For sure.
When you hand wash, you do not, okay, now I'm going to wring it out.
No. Okay, let's back up just a second, okay? Hand quilting.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, hand quilters that are out there, you can correct me, absolutely, I'm not offended by this, but a majority of the time, hand quilters like to use 100% cotton thread for quilting.
I don't know.
This is what I've seen, and it may not be true. It's a blanket statement.
They use poly batting a lot, so I don't know that they would use cotton thread or poly thread.
Usually, it's a Mettler or a I can't think of the other guy right now.
I'm like, G.
It's a G something.
It's a G.
Anyway, 100% cotton threads, pretty common,
right?
Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But
right.
you've
got cotton fabric, you've got cotton thread. That makes sense.
When you wash your fabric or your quilt, it's absorbing that water. So this is why it's very important to hand quilt or hand wash it, so that way you can kind of press that water out. Because what you don't want to do is take that added weight of that quilt with that moisture in there now,
all that water in it,
and try to pick that up incorrectly, and then that extra weight now will drag that thread, and that thread can give.
Where you grab, you could be touching threads that and then threads are pulling from the weight and can break.
Right. So
especially like if it is.
Guterman. Thank you, baby.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm Lord. Like Guggenheim. I don't know. Oh my god.
Left turn. Anyway, extra weight of water in a quilt can snap the thread. Number one, if it's stretched too far apart. If the thread is old. So if it's an old quilt that's been in the family for a minute, it's been hanging out in that cedar chest, and you want to wash it, be mindful of that. You know, you don't want to lift that up when it's completely saturated.
Right.
Terrible idea. Threads will break.
Right.
And then, like you were saying, if it's stretched or wrung out. So you again, once it's washed and once you've been, laundering it, be very cautious at that point. You don't want the weight of that to start breaking the quilting threads.
Right.
Terrible idea.
So fold it over, press, fold it over, press. Just trying to get as much of the water out as you can without causing, and then, again, and press, and again, and press. Just trying
it's a slow, tedious process.
Move the quilt around. Now, what if I turn it over and I press that? Just all of those things taking, take the time and really press it nice and to get as much water out as you can. I know that Hallie Bone came and spoke at our guild a long time ago. She is she does restorations. She is what is the word?
Appraiser.
Quilt appraiser. And so she told us about quilt care and laundering. And so then somebody was like, so then you hang it? And she's like, no, don't hang it. That's the worst thing, And so she says it's good if you can get a sunny day. Right.
And we're going to get to that. You're kind of mowing my lawn there, boss.
Then, okay, I'll leave and you can do this by yourself.
Look, we're still talking about the threads. You're killing me.
Okay, go. Then yes.
I'm just sidetracked. I apologize. Get as much of the water out as you can before you work with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, there is a strong recommendation of polyester threads if you're quilting with the machine because they're going to be more durable.
Right.
Okay.
So a lot of purists are like, no, you must use cotton thread. You have cotton fabric. You must use cotton thread, polyester thread. But then those same people will put poly batting in it. Can you explain this to me?
Cannot.
I do not understand. I love you all.
It's fantastic. It's totally great.
But that cotton thread, like when I piece with Orifil, which is a cotton thread. But I quilt with a poly thread. I mean, you can piece with...
Mainly because, here's the thought. If you're using a polyester thread to quilt, and you're going to end up gifting this to somebody, or you're receiving this, it's going to stand up to frequent laundering better than the cotton thread is.
Right.
Okay, so
A baby quilt that's going to get puked on. Maybe use
that was
polyester
straight to
thread.
graphic. Yeah. It's real though. I mean, because that's what babies do. Babies have no control of that sometimes, and things
Right.
just happen.
Right.
So it's going to get laundered a lot. So if that's going to be the case, machine quilting it and using a polyester thread is going to be way more durable than a hand quilted with cotton, especially because it's going to get laundered so regularly.
Now,
so keep
you
that in
have
mind.
a grandbaby that's coming and you want to make them this quilt and you want to hand quilt it. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know this is not the one I would throw on the floor and use every day all the
Right.
time because you really need to be careful with laundering it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
For sure.
That's my opinion.
Love it. Okay. Debbie says she used a front loading washer better than a top loader.
His very next big bold thing says top load washer versus front load washer. Way to go, Mom!
Way to segue that. All right. So if you're going to wash it in the washing machine, you can absolutely soak it. If you don't want to go into the bathtub.
Right.
The top load machines, a lot of times you can actually run water into it and then have water in it so that you can submerge your quilt in it so that it can soak.
Not so. I don't know about front loaders. Can you put something in the front loader and then let it soak?
It's trickier.
Do they have a?
My notes
maybe
were
they've got
when it comes to front loaders to maybe just don't.
Yeah, I mean,
just because the way the front loads are made, you can do a soak cycle.
yeah,
But they're a little more on the energy efficient side, so you
Right.
can't really just fill the tub and throw it in because obviously it's front load. Or
right.
even at that, you can't open that door when it's full enough to then submerge your quilt. You would have to put it in and then let it fill.
And let it drain and maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It was like I said, I have a whole paragraph on how to. I am not going to read through it because it is chaos. I don't know. I would just go to the bathtub at that point if I just need to let my quilt soak.
Yeah, if you have a front loader, I would probably go to the bathtub just if you wanted to do a soaking situation. Maybe your front loader has a soaking, and you could always do a test if you're not really sure.
Yeah.
Can I soak? And then it drains without spinning because I don't want agitation. I don't want it to be spun. And see if that works with your machine.
Right. There could be some trial and error on your specific washing machine.
Right.
So.
Right.
But
we have a top loader, no agitator.
It is
Tell me what that means or whatever.
So it doesn't have the post in the center for the agitator. There's a lower part that will do the agitation. It just doesn't have something for the quilt to wrap around.
Doesn't.
It's kind of neat. So it does
Anyway,
agitate.
now I have a lot of hand gestures for
You
them.
do. There's a lot of hand gestures happening over there. In any case, whenever you're going to soak your quilt, you want to soak it for at least 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then reset the washer to a gentle cycle with a low agitation or low spin. So some people think I shouldn't wash this in the washing machine, and if I do, no spin. Actually, that's contradictory to what you want to do because if you do no spin, then there's going to be too much water left in the quilt.
Mm-hmm.
So at least a low spin so that it can help
is going to
draw that
have
water
that.
out.
Yeah.
So it's the action of
stress on the
pressing it
threads.
out and all that. So whatever you do want to at least do a low spin, so at least some of that can be drained out. Would be really great and ideal. Okay. As far as soap that you want to use, you want to use a gentle detergent. The one that mentioned previously, Sue mentioned something Beyond Clean. I'm not familiar with that one, but it may be a really good option. Something we have in store that we like to use is this called Retro Clean. It's just a mild detergent. You don't want acid. Like that's not mild and it's not a detergent. Don't do that.
Acid. Oh my God.
It's aggressive. I know, right?
So Woolite, that's a good one.
Woolite's a good one.
Right?
Orvis, you can find
Orvis,
that.
yes.
WA paste. You can get that from a lot of farm stores.
Rural King. You got a Rural King in your area? You can get it at Rural King.
I mean, it depends on where you're at. There's Rural King. There's Tractor Supply. There's you name it.
But
farm store.
I think when Hallie was speaking, she said, you get Orvis, the stuff they use to wash pigs. And we're like, what? We didn't, I didn't know. I've never washed a pig. I don't know. And anyway.
I mean, my kids have been filthy, but I've never.
It's very mild because it can be used on animals. Like it's just a very mild soap.
Okay. Sometimes the mild detergents can do a really good job of getting out those old just I call them
aging.
age stains because sometimes it's like, I don't even know how that got there. It's just like the sudden stain that happened. I've had people bring in their quilts that they've used that, soaked them, cleaned them, and it does a really good job of kind of getting that out. However, you always want to follow the directions that are on the labels.
Right.
Please follow the directions that are on the labels. Don't, Jason said I should just pour it all over it and go.
Right, no.
Nope, don't do that. Follow directions. And then always test it. Okay? Don't take your quilt, throw it in the tub, fill it with water, throw some soap on there, and then bring it out and it's just a train wreck. Don't do that. Test it. Get a little bit.
How are you going to test it? Tell us how to test it.
In an inconspicuous spot of the quilt. Okay, let's talk about that. Where's my notes on that? Oh, my Lord. I have notes. I do. I really do.
I know.
I think I did. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, to test it, you want to, first off, take your fabric that's dry, okay? And take another piece of white fabric or cotton swab and rub it on that fabric, okay? This is kind of more of a color fastness thing, really. And I can say this is real because I had a quilt that came in that if you rubbed across it, you transferred that red to your hand. Like, it was an old quilt. It was older fabric. Oh, my Lord. That would have been a nightmare to wash. Hope nobody ever washes that quilt. If nothing transfers, cool. You're good to go. Next test, dampen said cloth or swab. Rub a little bit. See if the color transfers. If it does, probably not safe. You're going to be very careful about using the washing process. And then test that again with a little bit of water and a little bit of soap. So you take this and some water and you make that little solution and you try that little area. See if that color comes off or if it discolors that little area. We hope that it doesn't because it shouldn't, but check it out before you go and throw it right in the tub and start filling with water. Okay. Test color fastness. Test to make sure that your solvent or your detergent's not going to harm your quilt. Okay. If you encounter bleeding,
done. Now we're good.
At that point, if it's bleeding onto your testing fabrics or solutions, you really have to just sit there and contemplate, do I want a chance washing this thing? I mean, yeah. If it's an older one and I really want to save it, I'm going to have to proceed with washing it. If it's not really that messy, it's not dirty, it's nothing really wrong with it, I may just not. I don't know.
So
it's not a good answer.
Also, we have had, there is ways to get out bleeds. Like if there is a, okay, you can also do spot cleaning. So if it is a quilt that you're like, oh, I'm not sure, and this seems to be, and I don't know if I put it all in there, the whole thing's going to be red. I'm not really sure that I want to do that, but it does have a stain. You can always use like grandma's soap, this stuff, and just spot treat areas if that's good enough. If you're like, no, this really has to be laundered. We have had, so first of all, most fabrics these days are color fast. I should say quilt shop quality. I should say, like, I don't know if it's going to be color fast if you've bought it from a big box store or got it on a sale online and you have no idea where, not from a reputable quilt shop, right?
Yeah, if you don't know the source or origin of your fabric,
right?
Even if you do, honestly, it's always better to test it if you're not sure, especially colors such as red,
navy blue,
and navy blue. Those are super heavily dyed.
Old
typically. Old greens. Always want to test these out.
But if it still has to be laundered, guess what? You're just going to have to go for it, right? Because we've had quilts before that the red bled, and there are ways to get that out. It's going to take more of a process. You're going to be filling the tub, letting it soak, draining it, and it looks like someone was murdered because there's so much red in the tub.
And another day discussion.
I understand it's not that serious. It's going to take me 30 seconds. So there are ways to get the bleeds back out. Because here's the deal. If that thing smells like a closet, a cedar chest, you really want to launder it, then you need to, you're scaring them from never ever washing their quilts because it might, and I'm saying that's gross.
I don't want to
wash the quilt.
Wash it.
If it bleeds, there's ways to get it out. Thank you very much. I'm done. That was it. I mean, it wasn't even that long.
So, if you're going to launder it and there's a chance of bleeding, color catchers.
Right. If you're going to put it in a machine. If you're going to put it in a machine.
They're a little box And even if you're going to soak it in the tub, you can throw
Really?
yeah, because the whole idea is that
Oh, I
it's
guess,
soaking in
yeah.
the water. The water is going to suspend the dye, and those color catchers are going to absorb that dye.
So
They're
could I
little
take
sheets.
that sheet and rub the water?
I don't know. I've never actually done it, so I don't know how it works. But
Mhm.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Uh,
Okay, explain them now.
Anyway, they're a box that you get in the laundry aisle, and they say they're from I think Shout,
Mhm.
and then they're called color catchers. They kind of look like a dryer
dry
sheet
sheet,
box, but they're not usually as big as some of the ones you can get. You pull out these little sheets. They're a fiber material, and you just throw them in the tub with the quilt while it's soaking.
Right.
Again, the point of it is that it will absorb
Or
the dyes.
in the washing machine.
Or in the washing machine.
Mhm.
It will absorb those dyes that have been suspended from the quilt, so that way that when you drain the water out of the tub, or the washing machine drains the water from itself, that dye doesn't settle back on your quilt in spots where it wasn't originally intended to be.
Right.
Okay.
So red, white, and blue quilt is now not an all purple quilt.
Right. So if you're gifting a quilt, and that person, I've actually seen people gift quilts with boxes of color catchers as a, hey, I washed it first off, but here, if you're going to wash it again, make sure you throw a couple of these in there with it for the next couple of washes.
Right.
Just for a safety precautionary thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a quilt from somebody and you really want to wash it, go buy yourself some color catchers, throw a couple of those into the washing machine. If it's been hand pieced and all that, or machine pieced, all that, safe to wash in the washing machine, soak it with those. Okay.
Right.
Much better idea. It's going to help. It's not always a foolproof plan, but it's going to help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's crazy when you pull them out and they're completely colored, like from white to a rainbow of colors. They worked.
I do know that some people will, if they are a pre-washer of their fabric, they'll pre-wash their fabric with color catchers to see how much color came out. And then they'll wash it a second time with another color catcher to see if there's still, if it's lightened up. Yep.
Awesome. All right. So again, wash them by all means. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Like I said, it's still something that needs to be cleaned. It's completely fine. Don't let me scare you. And then test it where you can. Make sure everything's going to work out in a little spot if you can. But now that you've washed it, what do you do with it? Strongest recommendation with any quilt is to air dry it.
Right.
And this is where you were going earlier.
I know, I'm done.
She's like, I've been there. I've talked about it. I don't know. Go ahead.
You wouldn't let me finish.
Continue with your board.
Right. Okay, so you've washed it. You're hoping for a sunny day, right? So that you can, so what you need is a large sheet.
Or some towels.
Or towels you can put out on the lawn. You put the quilt on top of the towels or sheet, and then you put another sheet across the top because of birds. Okay. And then you leave it out there to dry. And also the top sheet is going to keep from sun damage, that kind of thing too. So you're not baking the color out of your quilt.
So a lot of these notes that I have here actually came from, I believe, a section on Hollybone has a website that has information for suggested care.
Nice.
So she recommended, if you can't get outside, let's say it's January and you're washing it, and you don't want to go hanging outside because it's cold and you don't want it to freeze solid. That would be
absolutely,
super weird.
yeah.
You can take it and put it in a room. Put
sheet underneath
it, maybe some fans to kind of help blow the air around.
Right.
Let's be honest, if it's January and it's the Midwest, you've got the heater on, so let's be honest, there's some moisture issues because low humidity. Should dry fairly quick, and throw some fans on it.
Right.
Gonna help dry that up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
For us that throw ours in the washer and dryer, I mean, we throw it in the washer, we put it on low spin, that kind of thing. And then when we put it in the dryer, we do it on a low heat situation, and we take it out while it is still damp. Mostly I'm trying to get it not to be drenched, like soaking wet, but which with the low spin, there's still a lot of moisture in there, but it's not soaking wet. I put it in there, short cycle, lower heat, and then I take it out and I lay it on the bed, and I usually lay it on top of my other quilt that's already on the bed, right? So I just lay it on top of that. If it's going to get anything wet, it's going to get that quilt wet, which is really usually when things dry, they dry up. So it doesn't really make everything soaking wet. So if you can lay it to air dry, for a little while, that's better
Mhm.
than, what are you laughing at?
I read Cindy saying the never wash a pig
Yeah.
statement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on the button. Never washed a pig.
So, yeah, so that is, you're not going to make everything soaking wet underneath it because it will wick up and it will be just fine.
Mhm.
Maybe you're like, it's going to take 2 days because I'm in a more humid environment and it
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be drying. And what am I going to do now? I mean, I understand. Like, you got to think those things through. Okay.
Fans.
I don't know how to
Fans
go
are
to
your
your
friend.
house and figure out where it needs to be laid and how long it should stay there.
Not paid enough for that.
You could figure it out, I'm sure.
If you have to take it outside to dry it,
Mhm.
sunny day is ideal. The ideal thing, though, is that you have it more in a shaded area. As crazy as that sounds, you do not want to chance that sun fading
Right.
situation.
Right.
Also, the secondary sheet over the top of it to kind of help prevent birds
Mhm.
and animals and kids and dogs and things from this,
Right.
doing what they do, life.
But you don't ever
Strongly suggest you don't.
want to put it on a clothesline.
That whole weighted, soak, saturated batting, pulling down via gravity on your seams, on your stitching, all that stuff, not ideal. So preferably dried flat as much as possible.
And I understand, like, there's only so much space. Like, I thought about this because we have two king size quilts that we alternate. We have a summer and a winter, and one's got wool batting and one's whatever. Anyway, but I don't have another place to lay a king size quilt in my house. Like, I don't have a floor space big enough. I don't have,
Yeah.
and I have a big yard, so that I could do, but it's not. I am more afraid of dogs than I am of birds because dogs can get into my yard because I don't have a
And they
fence
chew
around
on
it.
stuff.
And like, I would be out there
Birds don't really chew on stuff. They don't
watching
have teeth.
because that one little dog that lives up the street that they let out of, I mean, it just runs the neighborhood.
It's terrible. I mean, really, control your dogs, guys.
Anyway.
I'm kidding. Not kidding, but I'm kidding. Anyway, you want to air the quilt out for several hours. Keep it safe from the kids, the dogs, all the stuff. Again, if you have nowhere else to go with it, and it's a king size on your king bed, that's fine. Throw it on there. Put fans on it. It will do its job. It will dry out. It'll be just fine. While not advised, if you use a clothes dryer, select the permanent press cycle, which is a medium heat. And then this one actually, I have done this a couple times where you want to stop while it's still slightly damp.
I just said all that stuff.
All the safe stuff.
Yes.
So if you're just not familiar with it, that's what you want to do. Okay. Don't put it on super high oven heat.
Right, and get it all, well, it's still kind of wet. I better.
If you're pulling it out and it's still on fire, it's too hot. You don't do that. So yeah, that's kind of what I got for all the things.
So
I feel like
we've missed some people saying hello. So good morning.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hey.
And also I was going to ask if anybody has ways to. So silly. Okay, you talk about something else. Ways to take calories. Okay, it's Christmas time and I'm thinking about my grandma. And my grandma used to say, because she would run out of counter space, so she would do the baked goods the day before, right?
Okay.
So this is Christmas holiday stuff. Okay, if you have something, share.
We're completely, we're shifting
We're done.
for a second.
We're done with
done with washing.
Right.
If you have questions about washing, throw them in the comments. We'll answer them. But we're tangenting.
Right. So she would make the baked goods the day before, that kind of thing. And so then they would be on top of the refrigerator because there was out of counter space because I got to now do the whole meal and everything.
Make the ham and the potatoes.
Right.
And the salad.
And she would say, because she was all, I mean, we're all concerned a little bit about how much calories we intake, right?
Okay.
Kind of, right?
Sure,
yeah. You don't want to eat all the desserts.
Right.
Anyway, she would say that if you put your sweets on the top of the refrigerator, that all of the calories would fall out. So you could eat as much as you want of those dishes.
I just want you to know that is some shady lady calorie math.
It was like, it could have fit in earlier when I was talking about something else and I didn't say it. And then I was like, I need to tell them about the calories.
I mean, okay, so I'm curious, what is your, how do we say it? Shady lady mathing. for all the calories that happened during the holiday season.
Right.
I mean, that's what
Right.
it was. That's what your grandma was doing. She was shady lady mathing all the calories that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with all the thank yous, because Mary said, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
That's where that came from, because all the things that we've gotten have all been
All of the sweets. All the sweets.
I'm not sure
like,
I've not.
we
gained
need
10
a
pounds.
refrigerator. We need to put the stuff on top of the refrigerator so that all the
Does
calories
height
will fall
of the refrigerator matter?
I don't think it matters.
Because I got a mini fridge in there.
and it's kind of
Will
low.
it only
So like
take a little
where
bit?
would the calories go to? Oh,
Calories.
they're afraid of heights, right, Mom? Yeah. So that's it. That's why. Also, like my grandma was not as tall as me. And if you know me, I am not tall. So my grandma was, I mean, I think that she probably had to get the step stool to get the stuff on top of the refrigerator.
She was not afraid of heights.
Nope.
So the calories couldn't follow her up there.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Mhm. Right. You guys have any shady lady or shady guy? I don't know.
No, at this point, they would be shady
situations
lady
of
thoroughly all
why-
the way through and through.
That way you can eat as much as you want. Am I the only one here?
Man, I tell you what. If you're wondering if I've got all the sugary stuff on top of my refrigerator at home, I do not.
No, we
We
don't.
do not.
We do
It
not.
is a storage area. 2.0 says food does not have calories between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
That makes sense.
See, I can buy into that one.
Yes.
The refrigerator thing, I don't get that. The calories afraid of heights, maybe. But
so
I think
also,
that's true.
so not all of the superstitions and things that I have came from that side of the family. Some
Yeah.
of them are from other sides of the family. Like you can never gift a knife to
That's
anyone
right. No, you
because
shouldn't.
that will sever a relationship.
That's crazy. But
Okay. So if I did, someone's moving into a new home and they need a new set of knives, they have to buy them from me, even if it's $1. Like,
Okay.
that's you don't want to sever the relationship. There's
Okay.
lots of things like that. Like you can't gift,
You can't move and take your broom with you.
cannot take your broom with you when you move because
Leave
you
that. Don't bring
you
the new dirt.
no, you go buy a new broom. You're not bringing the new dirt to the new place. You leave that at the old place. You give someone a wallet for a gift, you
Mhm.
put money in it. Must have money. Purse or wallet must contain money.
If you're gifting this year, you better put something in there because money. She was burning them by climbing to get them. You know what, Cindy? That's a justifiable answer. I could buy that. That's fair.
Mhm,
That's an easy
mhm,
one. Sue, I just know coffee needs extra sugar and chocolate. So
I am with you. Like, this time of
also
year.
not wrong.
You know what? Because that's the thing. When I have my afternoon coffee and I'm like, I'm going to have this cupcake with it,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, my coffee is not sweet enough. So I have to go and get.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're going to put the cupcake in the coffee.
No.
I'm like, that's
But I
weird.
think because you're eating the sugar and like you have so much sweet and then you take a drink of your coffee, I'm like, this is not sweet enough.
It's too bitter. Need
Right.
more.
Needs more sugar.
Needs more sugar.
And I usually only put cream in, but this time of year it gets a little sugar too. Anyway,
Okay, well, that's interesting.
I love to know anybody's superstitions.
Lynn's
Mostly,
saying there's no calories in Christmas goodies.
that
I
is
agree with you, Lynn. You were correct.
Lee.
Thank you.
Lee. You said Lynn.
I said Lee.
Oh, I can't hear him.
She doesn't listen. It's this time of year. It's okay.
Mumbles. He mumbles.
I do. I do.
Yeah, Lee. There's no calories
None.
in Christmas goodies.
0.
None.
That's a Bible. I could. Yep. Fair. Real.
Yesterday though, we were talking about this, and I was like, "Yeah, but this spare tire needs to be deflated."
Yeah, Carla was
A little
saying that
bit.
too.
That
That's
was what
like.
Carla was saying, and I was like,
I
"That's
just
so smart."
upgrade from the small spare tire to the full size spare.
Right.
That's all I'm doing. So
Right, it's like
I'm
a
actually
more
prepared.
advanced, yeah,
I'm way more
right.
prepared. That's all.
Right.
That's what's happening.
The holidays, who cares? You got it, Vicky.
Right. Well, that's even more realistic.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I go to the doctor in January, I'm gonna go. It's
Look,
fine.
you cannot
fine,
judge me.
Fine, don't eat it.
Stop. Don't judge me. It's only been a week since we got out of the holidays.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, me too. The only reason I drink coffee is to put the hazelnut creamer in it. That is fact. Jack.
Hazelnut.
Yeah.
Not
I
for
love
me.
it. I love it.
Bailey's is always invited for the holidays.
Hey, good thinking.
Not mad at that idea. Not mad at that idea at all. It's been a minute though since I've had Mr. Bailey's.
Oh, Sue, yeah, you're gonna need some cookie and some sugar and some coffee.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, poor Sue and her in her hand. That's no good. But yeah, the cookie and the sugar from all the is just helpful.
Yeah.
It will all make it better.
Helps with the amount of time you're having to wait.
Right? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a
Having to take
professional
care
medical professional.
Having to take care of a husband after he's been injured is never fun.
No. Yeah. No, we're obnoxious. That's for sure. That's real. All right. I think at this point,
I
though,
did see something the other day, though, that was really,
No,
really fun.
Tell me more.
So it said, please pray for my husband. No, nothing's wrong. He just has to deal with me, and I'm a lot. And that is so true. Pray for him. I'm a lot.
I can feel the prayers. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, man. Everyone makes a resolution to be diet in the new year because of the holidays. Thank you, holidays.
Right.
James, why the diet next year? Yes, exactly.
Next month. Right. It's all good next month.
Deal with it now so that way next month you have something to do. Right.
Exactly.
Motivation.
I mean, what would yeah. Because then, yeah, anyway. Okay.
Ooh, Lodi. Okay. We're done here today. We're going to get out of here. You guys are going to come see us today.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get that new
11 to 4.
Janome Skyline S6 that you've been dreaming about because it's time to upgrade to the next level of machine.
And we have 2 in the box ready to go home today.
Go home today.
Mm-hmm.
You need a new long arm for the holidays because Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, come on. Let's talk.
Because, then we could, I'll make a sign that says Merry Christmas to me, and we can take your picture and,
Fun. That'd be good. All the stuff.
Like,
I'll make a sign for you that says I've never washed a pig. And that'd be fun too.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm going to have to make that now. Anyway, all right, we're done here. We'll see you guys in a little bit. We open 11. You good?
I'm good.
All right, let's get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.